Hey everyone, and welcome to Back to Business. I'm Sarah Pateo, your host, and on this episode, we're hearing from one of our internal employees and how far he's come with Wing Lake Capital Partners. Today we have Michael Howell. Mike, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Sarah. How are you?
I am good. Just another gloomy day here in Michigan, which all of our viewers will be able to see through your window behind you.
It's gloomy, but at least it's warmer now than it was last week.
Yes, thank goodness. Yeah, last week we
I'll take
had,
75 and gloomy over snow any day.
oh yeah, any day. Last week was all four seasons in one, so that was fun. So I know you've been doing some travel recently for work. How's that been going?
Really racking up the miles over the last couple of weeks. I've been to New Jersey and Vegas in the last 7 days or so.
Amazing. Around the world and back.
Yeah,
Will you be hitting diamond status this year then with Delta?
not unless we get a couple more clients in California.
We can work on that for you. I think we've seen a higher concentration in California recently than we have in a while. So we'll try to
Yeah.
get you to that diamond status one way or another. Okay, so we've got some questions for you today, just to get our viewers a little bit more familiar with you because you're a very integral part here at Wing Lake. So we're going to go back to basics. Where did you go to college and what did you major in?
I graduated from Grand Valley State University. I've got a double major in finance and accounting.
Oh, okay. I actually didn't know that. So that's a fun thing for me to learn. So you're very much well qualified for the job that you do. It's not like you majored in one thing and now you're doing something completely different, which I think happens kind of often.
I do not have a degree in underwater basket weaving.
But if you did, we would just totally talk about that this entire podcast because that would be pretty cool.
Absolutely, completely applicable.
Oh yeah. So after graduating college, did you hop into a role in accounting and finance, or what did you do for your first role out of college?
I was actually doing purchasing for a food co-manufacturer out in Grand Rapids. It was really interesting. Not quite applicable to finance and accounting, but a good first position kind of in the business world.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to start somewhere. You just kind of have to dive in. You learn good business practices. I don't know, emailing, just that general etiquette, and then you find what you like and hopefully head in that direction.
Definitely.
So you worked there. Were there any other career path changes leading up to Wing Lake? I mean, maybe something that surprised you or something you didn't really plan for?
Um, kind of initially when I was getting my degree, I was thinking I was going to be going the CPA route, and ended up kind of following sort of internal analysts working closely with CFO finance side of the business over the course of my career.
Okay, very cool. I'm sure you're happy that you made that decision. I mean, we work with a lot of CPAs. We talk to different ones. I think this is a very maybe a little bit more exciting of a career path. I'm not sure, but
Journal entries, it turns out, are not that interesting.
no, not at all. But as long as you're happy with what you're doing, that's all that matters. Take us, I know this is probably a difficult question because I think every day here is vastly different from the next, but what's a typical day for you at Wing Lake?
This is the worst question on your list. So there is no typical day at Wing Lake, right? Like we could say ideally this is what doing the work is going to be like, or what we want a typical day to be like. But the reality is we're dealing with, you know, at this point, 21 small businesses scattered across the country. They all have different issues and crises that they're facing. And, kind of every day we're prioritizing what's important to deal with today and handling that situation. Um, our client in New Jersey lost his bookkeeper recently, and we've been spending a lot of time helping him get sort of his financial situation back under control and have the ability to plan for the future and what his needs are going to be like.
Got it. Yeah, I figured that wouldn't be your favorite question for today because I know it's a tough
There's,
one. I think
there's not an answer to that. There's not a
no.
typical day. Every day is different.
Yes. yes, and especially with all your travel and whatnot, and I know that comes up spur of the moment. It's not like, for months leading up to it that you'll be
Right.
flying to Las Vegas or New Jersey, whatever, it just happens, and I feel
You
like
usually
you
get at least a week's notice that it's going to happen.
at least a week, yes, which I'm happy that that's enough lead time for you to say, "All right, packing my bags, we're going here," and
Yeah.
just ready to go and happy to do it. So I guess another question that would be interesting for people to hear, and without naming the name of the person or the business, but what's maybe the craziest thing that's happened with one of your clients, if there's something that, quickly comes to mind that just came out of nowhere, you maybe weren't prepared to deal with it right away, but you had to hop on board and help them the best way that you could.
I mean, I think that the biggest unexpected item that we've had to deal with is definitely going to be COVID-19 and its impacts, right? Most of our clients have weathered that storm fairly well, but we do have a Las Vegas food manufacturer who has just been devastated by it. Her business was primarily driven supplying the conventions that occur out in Las Vegas, and there have been no conventions for over a year now. And that was more than half of her revenue. And it's been extremely difficult for her to maintain operations and keep the business going. To her credit, she is one of the most amazing scrappers, fighters, cash managers we've got in the portfolio. And she's still there and she's still at it. And it looks like there's going to be some government programs becoming available for her in the really near future that are kind of going to set things right and give her a good footing going forward in the next couple of years.
That's great to hear. And knowing the little bit that I do about this specific business and this client, if anyone could weather that storm, I would say it's absolutely her.
Yeah.
But I know COVID has touched on so many different businesses, good and bad. I mean, I know that we both talk to different companies every day, different business owners every day. And for some, it's done, a world of difference for them, and grown their business and been a great
Yep.
change, which is crazy to say, but
It
some
is.
not
It's
so
so
much.
weird.
It is. It really is. It was either really, really good or really, really bad, somewhere right there in the middle somewhere. But, as long as we're there fighting with them and they're still ready to do the work and try their best, then that's all we can really ask for.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really been okay for most people. Um, Everybody has done a great job, I think, of getting through what is a completely unprecedented challenge.
Truly. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a very different world the last 12 months, but we're still here, still
Yeah,
doing what we do.
absolutely.
So, what do you enjoy most about the work that you do here at Wing Lake?
I find a lot of value in solving problems or finding the solution to a difficult situation. And kind of, things that we've already touched on as we've been talking, right? Every day is different. Every day is a different challenge to overcome. Um, Helping our clients get through and find success in difficult situations brings a lot of value to me.
That's awesome to hear. And yeah, I would guess that you would never call a day here at Wing Lake boring based on
No,
our conversation.
no, I start to get really uncomfortable if things get boring. That means that, I'm missing something or something's gone wrong somewhere.
Yeah, there's a storm brewing somewhere. You just
Sure,
haven't seen it yet. Yeah, you haven't.
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's good. I'd say always rather be busy than bored, and I think that's definitely what you get here at Wing Lake, especially in the
Yeah,
role that you're in.
yeah.
So, what would you say the most important skills are for someone who's interested in a job like yours?
I think that the most important skills are going to be communication and organization. There is a lot of parties to interact with, and there is a lot going on and a lot to keep track of.
Yes, for sure.
Right.
And I'm going to go on a limb and say thick skin. Because sometimes you have people ignoring you and, not
Yeah.
behaving the way that you want them to, or whatever the case may be. So,
All of that you got to just let roll off your back and keep moving forward. And I'm going to send another email. I'm going to call again. I'm going to ask a different way. I'm going to phrase it differently. You got to get the message across. You got to get the information that you need.
yeah.
Really, it's about helping people understand why what we're doing, what we're asking for, we're here to help, right? My success is when our clients are successful. Anything that we're doing is to get them to be successful.
Yes,
And sometimes crafting that message so that it's heard can be trying.
I believe it. It can be an uphill battle sometimes, but what you said is so true. Always having our client's best interest in mind. And once they see that and that light bulb goes off, like, why am I fighting this? Or why am I not being more communicative or whatever the case may be?
Yeah,
And then they appreciate you. Even if they're not
absolutely.
saying it, I think they all appreciate you. Um, and one last question, just to round it out a little bit, so it's not all work, but what are some things that you like to do in your free time?
um, I make it a point to kind of be active in my kids' lives. So, when I'm not here, I'm out at a soccer game with my son or kind of at the horse stable with my daughter. They're both pretty active in their sort of extracurricular activities, and being there for them, being involved with that is really important to me.
That's awesome to hear. I'm sure that's a lot of fun. I know it's busy running the kids here and there, but it sounds like you enjoy it when you get there and you get to watch them do what they like to do and just spend that time with them. And
Yeah, watching them and sort of their dedication to growing their skills is wonderful, right? Like watching them grow and become better people is fantastic.
yeah, absolutely. And all this hard work that you put in every day is so that they can do the things that they love and you can be there to support them while they do it.
That's right.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Mike. It's been great chatting with you, and we'll get you some more clients out in California so you can earn diamond status very soon.
Fantastic. Thanks, Sarah. It's been great talking to you.
Likewise. Bye.